There was once a fox who always wanted to be ahead of everyone. Even when he was young, he hated losing. If someone was praised, he wanted more praise. If someone did something well, he immediately tried to prove that he could do it better. As he grew older, this habit became worse. The fox wanted everyone to admire him, listen to him, and treat him as someone important. But instead of earning that respect, he often tried to force it. He argued over small things, blamed others when something went wrong, and always wanted to have the last word. One afternoon, he got into an argument with a parrot. The argument had started over something small, but the fox refused to let it end. Finally, the parrot shook his head and said, "You always have to prove that you are better than everyone." The fox frowned. "And what is wrong with being better?" The parrot laughed. "Better? Look at the horse, everyone respects him. He does not spend his whole day arguing and telling everyone how great he is." The fox's face changed. The horse lived nearby, and almost every animal respected him. He was calm, helpful, and rarely involved himself in unnecessary quarrels. The fox scoffed. "What is so special about him? I am much better than that horse." The parrot laughed again. "If you say so." Then he spread his wings and flew away. But the fox remained there. He looked toward the horse's home. Why does everyone respect him? Why do they listen to him? What does he have that I do not? The more the fox thought about it, the more irritated he became. Soon, irritation turned into jealousy. He began thinking that if everyone stopped respecting the horse, perhaps they would finally start respecting him. A few days later, a young rabbit disappeared. His family searched everywhere. The animals checked the bushes, the riverbank, and the paths around the forest, but no one could find him. While everyone was worried, the fox suddenly said, "I think I know something." The old rabbit turned toward him. The fox lowered his voice. "I saw the horse taking the young rabbit away yesterday. I do not know where he took him or what he planned to do." The old rabbit stared at him. "What a terrible lie." "It is not a lie," said the fox quickly. But the old rabbit shook his head. "You spend half your life arguing and making things up about others. I am not going to accuse someone because you suddenly decided to tell a story." Then he walked away. The fox stood there, burning with anger. "Even when I say something, nobody takes me seriously." He kicked a small stone from the path, and somehow, instead of thinking about why nobody trusted him, he blamed the horse. "Everyone believes him, everyone respects him, and nobody even listens to me." The fox walked away, angrily. After some time, he noticed a rabbit lying beside the path. The rabbit was not moving. The fox looked at him for a moment. He assumed the rabbit was dead and continued walking, but after a few steps, he stopped. An idea came to him. He slowly looked back. Maybe this is my chance. The fox returned to the rabbit. He grabbed him and began dragging him along the ground. The rabbit's body scraped against stones and dry branches as the fox pulled him all the way to the horse's home. Then the fox left the rabbit near the entrance. He stepped back, looked at what he had done and smiled. "Now they will believe me." The fox hurried through the forest, calling the other animals, "Come quickly." "What happened?" someone asked. "We are in danger," said the fox. "You need to see this." The animals followed him. When they reached the horse's home, the fox pointed toward the rabbit lying on the ground. Everyone became silent. The old rabbit rushed forward. The horse stepped outside after hearing the commotion. "What happened?" The fox immediately pointed at him. Look! I told you. The horse did this. The animals looked from the injured rabbit to the horse. This time, no one laughed at the fox, some began whispering. The horse stared at the rabbit in shock. I did not do this. Then why is he lying outside your home? Someone asked. I do not know, said the horse. Questions started coming from every direction. The horse looked completely confused. He kept saying that he knew nothing about the rabbit, but now everyone were beginning to doubt him. Behind them, the fox watched with a small grin. For the first time, he felt that his plan was working. Then, in the middle of all the noise, they heard a weak sound. Everyone became quiet. The rabbit moved slightly. The old rabbit quickly bent down beside him. The injured rabbit slowly opened his eyes. Are you all right? The old rabbit asked. The rabbit winced. My body hurts. The fox's grin disappeared. The rabbit looked around and then saw the fox. His eyes widened. The old rabbit asked gently, What happened to you? The rabbit took a slow breath. I slipped from a rocky slope. I remember falling and hitting the ground. The animals listened closely. I could not move, but for a moment I could still see what was happening. He pointed weakly toward the fox and said, He came to me. The rabbit continued. I thought he would help me. But he dragged me across the ground. The rabbit looked at the scratches on his legs. Some of these bruises came from that. The forest became completely silent. The old rabbit slowly stood up. You dragged an injured rabbit here just so you could blame the horse. The fox opened his mouth and could not say anything. You could have made his injuries worse, another animal said angrily. You could have killed him. And all because you wanted us to turn against the horse. The fox looked around. Every face that had been suspicious of the horse moments earlier was now turned toward him. One animal said, If you can do this to him, what will you do to one of us tomorrow? The others moved toward the fox angrily. The fox panicked. He turned and ran through the bushes, over fallen branches, and far away from the crowd. Only when he was sure no one was following him did he stop. Breathing heavily, he looked back toward the forest. He had wanted everyone to stop respecting the horse. Instead, he had given them an even bigger reason never to trust him. The fox lowered his head.
What did I do to myself?
The fox wanted the respect others gave the horse, but he never understood why the horse had earned it in the first place. Respect cannot be stolen. You cannot make yourself greater by making someone else look smaller. When jealousy takes over, we may start looking for ways to embarrass others, damage their name, or turn people against them. But those choices slowly reveal our own character. The trap we prepare for someone else can easily become the trap that exposes us. If you want respect, do not chase it by pulling others down. Earn it through your actions, your honesty, and the way you treat people. Because in the end, respect is not taken from others. Respect is earned.